October 1st, 1993. Las Vegas wakes up like any other Friday. An armored truck rolls up to the back entrance of Circus Circus Casino. Inside the cab sits a 21-year-old rookie driver named Heather Tallchief. 3 weeks into her job, clean record, nothing remarkable about her. 2 guards head inside to pick up cash. They expect to return in 20 minutes. At 8:20 a.m., they push back through the casino doors. The truck is gone. Heather is gone. And with her, $3.1 million in cash. No gunfire, no chase, just a truck that silently melted into traffic. By lunch, the FBI has locked down the strip. By sunset, Heather Tallchief is the most wanted woman in Nevada. But none of them know the truth yet. Heather didn't mastermind this. She didn't even want the money. She was following a man who had already killed for this exact crime once before. Rewind 8 months. Heather escapes a dead-end life in Buffalo, New York, and lands in San Francisco with little more than a bus ticket and a duffel bag. She drifts into low-paid jobs and cheap apartments. One night she walks into a bar in the Tenderloin. That's where she meets Roberto Solis, 48 years old, charismatic, spiritual, hypnotic. He talks about manifesting wealth, tantric energy, and destiny. She's young, lonely, and looking for someone who believes in her. She doesn't know he's a convicted murderer. In 1969, Solis shot a guard in an armored car robbery, his first attempt at this exact crime. He spent 15 years in prison reading occult books, training his mind, and studying armored car procedures. Heather falls in love with the man he pretends to be, not the one he is. Within 2 months, she's living with him. Within 3 months, he has complete control of her life. July 1993. Roberto tells Heather they're moving to Las Vegas, a fresh start. She believes him. Once they arrive, he drops the real plan. Heather is to apply for a job at Loomis Armored. Her clean background makes her the perfect inside person. She gets hired immediately. At home, Roberto begins training her, not with maps or guns, but with long meditation sessions where he forces her to recite routes, times, entrances, exits, over and over, until she stops questioning any of it. He buys disguises, rents storage units, prepares getaway vehicles, and through it all, Heather barely asks the question she's terrified to say out loud. Are we really gonna do this? 7:52 a.m. Heather parks behind Circus Circus. 2 guards step inside with $800,000 in cash. The remaining $2.3 million is still in the truck. The door is shut. Heather waits 90 seconds. This is her final moment to stop everything. She presses the gas. No speeding, no panic. Just a calm, steady 35 miles per hour down Las Vegas Boulevard, exactly as Roberto instructed. Anyone watching would think she's just doing her job. She follows the route Roberto drilled into her. South, left, right. Into an anonymous row of storage units. Roberto is waiting. They unload $3.1 million into a van. Heather peels off her Loomis uniform. The truck is left behind like an empty shell. Within minutes, they're on the freeway heading out of Nevada. The guards exit Circus Circus at 8:20 a.m. Their truck and co-worker have evaporated. They switch vehicles in Barstow, cross Arizona, move through New Mexico and Texas. Heather barely sleeps, barely eats, barely speaks. On the 5th day, she becomes someone else entirely. Roberto disguises her as a frail, elderly woman in a wheelchair. He walks her through airport security without anyone taking a second look. Old women don't steal millions. They cross the Atlantic, disappear in Amsterdam, and for a moment, it seems like they've won. In Amsterdam, Heather expects partnership. Instead, she gets isolation. Roberto hides the money where she can't access it. He cheats openly. He leaves for days. He returns with excuses. Heather realizes she wasn't chosen for love. She was chosen as a tool. She becomes pregnant. Roberto barely reacts. When he leaves town, she takes a small amount of cash, flees the apartment, and starts over alone. She drifts through Europe under different names, cleaning houses to survive. She gives birth in hiding, a baby boy named Dylan. For 11 years, she raises him in constant fear. New countries, fake identities, cheap rooms, no paperwork, no stability. Every knock on the door feels like the end. Meanwhile, FBI leads dry up. Roberto Solis becomes a ghost, and $3 million remains missing. By 2005, Heather is exhausted. She's lost her home, her past, her freedom, and she's losing her son to the same fear that controls her. He's 10 years old and asking questions she can't answer anymore. She realizes the truth. She can run forever. Or she can let her son have a life, not both. September 15, 2005. Heather walks into a Las Vegas courthouse wearing jeans and a sweater. No disguise, no plan to escape. "My name is Heather Tallchief," she says. "I'm here to surrender." After 12 years, the FBI finally has their driver. In court, experts testify about Roberto's manipulation, his violent history, and the psychological control he used to break Heather's will. Heather pleads guilty. She receives 63 months, just over 5 years, far less than the time she spent hiding. She serves quietly, writes to her son, prepares for a future without running. Heather is released. She reunites with Dylan in Buffalo and begins rebuilding an ordinary life, something she hasn't had since she was 20. She gets a regular job, uses her real name, lives without a disguise. As for Roberto Solis, he never resurfaces. He would be in his late 70s today. Some believe he died, others believe he's living under a new identity somewhere with the remaining millions. The money was never recovered, not a trace. Heather didn't escape because she was clever. She escaped because she was invisible. A young woman with no criminal record. A man who knew exactly how to exploit her. And a plan built on one fragile thing. Trust. The trust her employer had in her. The trust she placed in a manipulative older man. The trust she destroyed, and the trust she eventually rebuilt, with her son, and with herself. In the end, the most shocking part of the heist wasn't how she escaped, but how she chose to stop running.